Hello, hello, my third grade friends. Welcome to another fabulous day of art. Okay, so last week we began our journey. We started diving into the principles of design. Yes, right. We learned a little bit about balance. We made some examples of balance. Right. For today's lesson, we're gonna start by looking at variety. Yes, variety. All right. Variety is the spice of life. Okay. So without variety, things would look very boring. Today we're going to be making a picture, right, where half of the picture will be no variety, just to kind of emphasize to you, like, hey, no variety, super boring. So you'll be drawing the same thing again and again and again. Look at all these triangles. Oh my goodness, madness! The same thing again and again, right? And then you'll have the other side where you actually add variety, so you add different things, okay? So variety is the spice of life because variety are those differences that makes life interesting, because if everything was the exact same, you would go bananas. I would go bananas. We would all go bananas, okay? Because if everything was the same and we had no differences, you would be bored. You would just be bored in a world basically feeling like you were talking to yourself, right? You would just feel like you were just talking to yourself all the time. Talking to myself? Yes, talking to yourself. You would be so bored talking to yourself, all right? So that would make you cuckoo bananas, okay? So, variety being the spice of life, and in people we call that diversity, the things that make us different, the things that make us interesting, the things that make us us, all right? That's the spice of life, because if we were all the same, no thank you. No thank you. I don't want that world. That world, bye-bye, all right? Because I don't want it, all right? So variety is the spice of life. That's how we have new things to talk about, because we're different people. We like different things. We look different ways. We act different ways. We're from different places. We like different things, right? We're good at different things. Like, there are so many differences, so much variety in the world, right? And that's what makes it beautiful. So today we're going to make art that has that variety, and like I said, it's going to show that, you know, it's going to be that example of like, hey, this is what a world without variety looks like. Poop. It looks like poop. Yes, your teacher did just say poop. All right, stop giggling. No, it's fine. You can giggle. All right, but it looks like poop. Okay, and then that side of the other side of the paper will be variety, and it will look beautiful like a magical unicorn, because it has that diversity, it has that variety, it has those differences that make life interesting. So I'm going to show you my project example. All right. For my project example, I took a piece of paper and I folded it in half. Yes, fold it in half, right? And then half of the paper, I went ahead and wrote no variety up here, just to kind of remind myself, because what we're trying to make right now, this is going to be a beautiful example. You can hang it up in your room. Yes, right? A beautiful example to you, to remind you that when you're making works of art, you really do need to add some variety to it. Add details, add different things, because otherwise you end up on this side of the paper where it's no variety. You just draw the same thing over and over again, right? So remind yourself, part of the principles of design, all right, something that artists use, right, a tool that artists use is that variety, adding different things. Okay, so on this side, all right, what I want you to do is pick something and just draw the same thing again and again, just in rows again and again. All right, just boring. You're like, oh, and it could be anything. I mean, honestly, I chose emojis because I really love when you're like texting and you can send just like little emojis. I really like those. So I just used emojis, and I just used the boring smiley face one. No spice. No spice at all. I wrote down here, if you're wondering what this says, it says variety is the spice of life, to remind myself the variety is the spice of life. All right, so this side, no variety, draw the same thing again, again, and again, and again. When you color it in, when you like whatever you use, like I said, remember it's the art room because it's in your home now, essentially, is just use whatever you got. So whatever you got to color in, I used paint, but you can use markers, crayons, colored pencils, whatever gel pens, whatever you're using to color things in. Go ahead and color in one side of your paper, right? If you don't have something to color in, if you don't have tools to color in, call the school and ask for Kristen O'Neill. That's me, all right? And I can hook you up with something if you don't have anything at all to color in with. But use whatever you've got to color in with, and you know, do one half of the paper, the same thing again and again. It could be like, for you, you might be like, oh, I don't really like the emojis as much as Mrs. O'Neill does, but I'm just going to draw the exact same Pokemon. in the same pose, doing the same thing. They have to be like identical. You guys know like identical is looking exactly alike. Maybe you played that game where you try to find the differences between the pictures. All right. You're trying to make this look exactly the same, so making it look the same. All right, and then the other side, the fun side, all right, because variety is the spice of life, is where I drew emojis. So you're gonna draw the same kind of thing that you drew over here. So if you drew Pokemon, you'd be drawing Pokemon over here. But this one, you draw different ones, all right, and that's just because I know that Pokemon is a thing. It could be whatever you're using, all right? Maybe it's My Little Ponies, and same pony and over again. These are different ones. I don't know. All right, that's up to you. That's whatever you're into, right? So just, you get the point though. What I'm trying to look for when you turn this in, what I'm going to be looking for is half the paper the same thing again and again and again, as half the paper different things. And you can see on the variety side, not only did I do different emojis, I also did different sizes. So that's part of variety. So I did different sizes. For my emojis, I added different shapes in there. So I added some stars and triangles because I love those shapes. All right. So I added different things. I added different sizes. They're not in rows. They're like in different kind of a variety of places. There's even one like behind another one. All right. But that is how that works. All right. And to me, I really enjoyed this side because this side kind of looks like my brain. I hope my brain never looks like this side over here because that'd be rough. All right, but this side is how my brain kind of looks on the inside, where it's just like all these different emotions bouncing around. Awesome. All right. So it's up to you what what objects you're going to use. But this is just a great art project. And if we were in the art room together, that's what I would tell you. Just choose something. The same thing on one side again and again in rows, and then the other side you get to like mix it up. So maybe for you on this side it's like different Pokemons, different sizes, different shapes. You get the idea. All right. But this is the side that's going to have that variety to it. And then this is a nice reminder, like I said, hang this up in your room or wherever, just to remind you, hey, I'm going to keep this forever, and just to remind you, hey, variety is the spice of life, because what makes us different is what makes the world beautiful and what makes us more interesting to each other when we get to talk about different things. Right? So I hope you enjoyed today's little lesson on variety. If you want this to count as one of your 3 projects due by October 15th, just take a picture of it. So take a picture of your artwork, click, right, and then send that picture to me, to my email address, or you can send it to me through Remind. That's totally fine too. But turn that in before October 15th if you are at the school where the tiger is the mascot. Okay, so remember, I work at multiple schools, and I'm going to be switching here soon, so keep that in mind. But at the school where the tiger is the mascot, you have 3 art projects due by October 15th, so make sure you do those. If you go to the school where the bee, the bumblebee, is the mascot, you don't have me yet, so you don't have to worry about October the 15th. But that deadline is just for my friends who are at the school where the tiger is the mascot. So make sure you're looking into that. On top of that, like I said, take a picture, send it to me. If you're having any troubles turning things in, just send me an email. You can find my email address, of course, by going to your school's webpage or school's homepage, going to staff, and then finding my name. Remember, I'm in the O's now for O'Neill. All right, so click on my name under the O's there, and then it'll take you to my web pages. And on my web pages, I have my email address listed, so make sure you're looking for that. I hope you guys had an awesome time doing this lesson. I will see you next week for our next dive into the principles of design. All right, bye.